Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome to Stonehearth Dev Stream number 245. This is Ali Strom. I do concept art and illustration on the team, and today we're going to be tackling the, as of yet, untended to desert orcs. So this should be fun. Hey, there we go. Sorry, it took me a minute. I see, like, there are all these little buttons in the tray, and they're all the same size and all the same shape, and none of them stand out. I'm like, is this one the right camera? So, minor hitch. Good morning, everyone who's joining the stream. We've got, JRNVD. You'll have to let me know if there's a way to pronounce that. Good morning. And good morning, Sarandries and Tayak Raman. Alright, so I've actually been spending a little time digging through the orc folder, getting to know some of our things, and I found this really cool white dog. He's like, I don't know if he's a proto-wolf or what. Or she. They don't have like the big mane or anything, but they have the good coloration. A wintry dog. Here's a really good club. The goblins used to have kind of like melony colored hair, I guess. Hearthling's eyes are very, very sparkly. Oh, kobold. Yeah, so one of these days we're gonna buckle down and we're gonna try and make a little sense out of our kobold's face. It's a little steppy, a little noisy. I think we can get it. Oh, there we are. Hey guys. Cool. Alright, so this file is super fun because I opened it up and there were some things in here that I hadn't seen yet. This one's just our singular orc, which is pretty cool. Oh, good evening, Dragonian. That is a cute dog. It's a good dog. And, good morning, Megashub. Jaren, cool. Alright, thanks for clearing up. Neat. Alright. I don't know what to do with this guy. Hey, TPC Turtle Squish, good morning. One of these... Was it? Okay, I think it was the last one. The last one had one orc male, one orc female, and one hearthling male. Yep, here we go. Okay, cool. And this is the normal kind of hearthling without, like, the... Wow! Has she always had, like... one row thick eyeballs? That's a little frightening. Alright. Okay. Oh man, look at this tattered sleeve. It's so good. It's a dude. And good evening, Dryzard. Alright, let's get rid of this little singular guy. Oh, he's all chopped up. Well, that's gonna make things tough. Oh, maybe. I mean, his head's all one piece. Her head is mostly one piece. Body's all one piece. Yeah, you know, we're gonna export these guys out as like one block. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. That'll make them easier to deal with. Export all. Let's make us a new little folder for them. Oh, that's what's wrong. I'm like, sure is quiet. Yes. Oh, sorry to hear that. Dragonian is lamenting that they missed yesterday because of time zone differences. Let's see. Right, this is not my computer, so everything is not where I expect it to be. Let's see. Got lots of fun stuff in here. Oh, and I guess we should go over what we did, last week for anybody who didn't make it, and to get us all caught up. Alright, we want to save a copy of this file in here, that way we don't accidentally save over something important. We don't need an OBJ, we need a QB. And we shall call it Orcs. And I guess we'll underscore it with desert, or we could put that in the other way, but I don't know. We're going to export them as a single object, that way as we're working with the models we don't have to like keep clicking on like every finger. Okay, So, let's close this one before we do something we can't undo. Open up our Desert Orcs. Lies! Of course we can open it. Oh my gosh. Windows, you're a real friend. This is how we'll do this. Sometimes it acts all sassy. There we are. Excellent. Let's go ahead and save as while we are here. We don't have to keep going through the roundabout method of opening that file. And to be totally inconsistent, we'll call this one Desert Orcs. What are naming conventions? Good morning or good evening, Mel Lopez. Thank you for joining our stream today. We will be tackling the task of desertifying orc kind. I have not touched these guys yet, so the orcs and the kobolds are kind of the outstanding members of the Red Kiln to receive their cool desert makeover. I guess before we start hacking into this, let's review what we did last week. Again, for anybody who might have missed the stream, we did a super cool bone armored Cyclops ogre, which is our desert ogre. I can't even. There we are. Is it critters Cyclops? Did I save it in here? Because I haven't broken him up yet. It must be this file. Yeah. And everybody got to meet Smilin' Pete as well, which is super fun. Yep. Pull up, we are doing orcs. And WeeBB, hello, good morning. Or good evening, perhaps. Welcome to the stream. Arcane Gunner, hello. Alrighty, so here's what we did last week. We took our Cyclops guy, here he is. And for anybody who's not up to speed about how this works, so in the back here, we've got the kinds of ogres you encounter when you are playing in the temperate biome. And they're big, and they're kind of like this gray-green, and they're scaly, and they've got manes of hair. So for our desert versions, we decided to ditch all the hair and go just totally with like thick hide and these huge scaly plates instead. You'll also see though that the temperate, the forest the forest ogre has this version over here that's got like a sweet shoulder pad and like a cool belt. So this is, I think this is his doorbreaker model. Ding. Sorry. My phone's not a thing. There we go. No more of that. How rude. So we wanted to come up with a cool variation on our desert ogre that had the same kind of like awesome armor, and we made a paint over and we were like, yes, skulls everywhere. It's the best. Like we were gonna do like a belt of skulls and like a big skull on the shoulder, and it was gonna be super deadly and intimidating. And we ran into some trouble like so there's not actually a lot of voxels down here on the belt, for instance. You can see that there's like maybe 3. So we couldn't actually put a skull down there, so we settled for like these things that are like bits of ribs and finger bones and whatever. I mean, use your horrible imagination. And we created these kind of wolfy skull looking things to act as insets for his shoulders. Hey, good morning, Ildred. Oh, and that's really good to hear. Thanks for saying. Mel Lopez is saying, awesome job with Alpha 19. I'm really enjoying it. Alright, and then we put a quail. Oh, sorry. We put a quail over here on Smilin' Pete's head. And that about wrapped up everything we did last week. So, again, to recap, we have our forest orcs. Orcs. I keep saying orcs. Obviously, I have orcs on the brains. Our forest ogres back here, our desert ogres up here, and over here we have our desert goblins. So let's see if we can start teasing out some ideas for the orcs. Because again, I haven't really been thinking about them just yet. I thought this would be a cool thing that we could tackle together. See what kind of barriers we can break down. So, let's start by just grabbing, excuse me, I'm so sorry, by just grabbing a screenshot of these guys and dragging them into Photoshop so we can give them a quick and beautiful makeover. Or several. It might take a few. You're gonna look so pretty, you don't even know. Just need a little color in your cheeks. Whoa, so many things. That's right. It takes a picture of both of the screens. Alright, we gotta line them up. One of these days I'm gonna remember to just use the res gate for this, but this is easy, so. Alright, we want to size this so I can still see you and all of your words. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to get your feedback and your contributions. Good morning, Moobot! Moobot just wants everyone to know that Stonehearth is available on Steam Early Access now. That's all it lives for. Tayakraman is asking, at Stonehearth, have you decided on a color scheme yet? I think a dark red color would look nice. Actually, I haven't, but that's a really good place to start. I agree with you, like, we went with sort of a light terracotta on the desert ogres. Are they still around? It would be kind of cool to drag them in for no cubicle. Sometimes when cubicle asks if it can take what's on the... Are you serious right now? Oh, it froze! This is exactly what I was saying. Sometimes when cubicle pops up that window to ask if it can paste whatever's on the clipboard, it freaks out and shuts itself down. So we're gonna see if it can save its brain. Nope. That's fine. I just wanted to get those guys in for comparison. Alright. Dark red. Stylus. I haven't used this tablet in so long. I've been working on my little Cintiq and, like, I miss it. It's a little weird chewed up back end. Because my mom's dog is a beast. Alrighty. Let's try that one more time with feeling. I agree with you, WeeBB. I love the music of Stonehearth. It is so relaxing and peaceful. Super beautiful stuff. Okay, so as we were, let's go ahead and snap some more screenshots and not anger the cubicle gods. There we go. That was very painless, right? Just borrow these little friends. Oh. Whoa. Okay. I didn't want that window. You wanna try that again? Sometimes computers. They happen, and there's nothing we can do. No, Smiling Pete, not today. Can't do that because my middle mouse button is broken on that. Okay, and now we've got our goblins. Just for comparison's sake, that way we can make sure that our new members kind of fit the theme. Oop! Oh, that's the wrong layer. I'll pop these up here, condense them, and call them reference. Now we don't need this open. Jay Reed is saying, I love the music, but I wish there was more. Recently we did add in the Rise Children track, so there is a good deal more than there used to be in game. Sarandaries is saying, so for the orcs, are they the smart ones of the bunch between the goblins, orcs, and the ogres and the kobolds? I would say that they are the most organized. Like, if one could look at any group of the Red Kiln and call them civilized, it would probably be the orcs. I think the kobolds also count, but their version of civilization is kind of weird and manic and adorable. But I think these guys would be the closest to what we would recognize as like human or halfling trains of thought. They'd be the easiest to communicate with in terms of like appeasing or appealing to their individual quirks. You know, goblins communicate by first barging down your door and then asking you 3 times for all of your stuff and then saying you're cool and leaving. That's generally how that works. TPC Turtle Squish is saying, at Stonehearth, speaking of Smiling Pete, any lore you want to share this week? Well, we might come up with some. So part of the task of making desert versions of our characters is trying to see how their appearance is affected by the way they live in the desert. So it's a little hard for that to happen without some kind of fun bits coming up from it, or it fleshing in stuff that even sheds light on the forest biome versions of the creatures, or maybe even far ahead to the ice biome creatures. Frowning Frank, no. That's a good point. I will have to take a look at that. It would actually be really easy. Stranders is asking about creating a soundtrack using new music for the new Raya's Children music for the stream. I feel like that would be really appropriate. Oh, I don't want to waste our time doing that today. Next time, because we've still got extra work to do. Alright, so, one of the first places that we started, you know, now that I think about it, I wonder if we've got models of these guys that don't have all the armor and stuff on them that might make them easier to deal with. Let's take a look really quick. Because where we started with both the orcs and the goblins was actually in their skin tone. So goblins are a mossy green in the... I can't find anything. There we go. Goblins are a mossy green in the forest, and in the desert they're kind of a brighter green because it's more reflective. The ogres obviously become more terracotta. We've already got a suggestion to go kind of a ruddy dark red, and that could be kind of cool. Generally, we want to avoid anything that might look like Hearthling skin tones. We still want them to be like them, but a different version. So far I think we've got kind of this trend of like more ambery colors going over here. So I could even see like an orange. Though maybe the kobolds would be cooler in orange. I don't know. We'll deal with that. Alright. Maybe. I don't know if these guys have the multitudes of stuff that you get with the goblins. I mean, we've got a war chief, so there's gotta be something. Cubicle's being a little slow, bear with it. Oh, that is a really fancy lady. Just hundreds of crowns. This is a good cape! That is a level of sophistication I was not expecting. Alright. Oh my gosh, look at this gem. It's so dark, but so red, it's like a garnet. I'm sorry, I'm impressed. I like that a lot. It's really pretty. Alright, so I guess these guys don't run around without armor. Good to know. Orc huts, white orc hut, orcish tokens, so that wouldn't be it. Yeah. Wait a minute. That's sample object. We don't need sample object. Okay, well, that answers our question. This is where we're starting. Though this is really cool. Orc Queen, right there, her Orcish Majesty. I'm so just losing my mind about this cape, though. That's so good! Looks like we're kind of getting a little crazy. Like, I think this stuff up here is having a bit of a fight. Or maybe it's just, like, the most elaborate hair crown piece I've ever seen in my life. They got a little skull here. It's just very small. That's cool. I feel like they would live in palaces. Yeah, I don't know. I guess these guys... Yeah, to your previous statement, I think they would live in tents. Like, the goblins I see is more like scavengers, nomadic. They have camps that they would, like, pick up and settle in different places wherever would be, like, strategic for them to live. But I do sense that the orcs would be more of a civilized band. I'm gonna have to talk with the team and see if we've got any latent lore about them lying around. But I do believe they are, like, the most civilized, for their standards anyway, of the Red Kiln. Let's just take a little beauty shot of that. Wait, I want one of the back too, because it's so good. Just to remind us of how magical. Wait, no, that's not what I want. That's the stream. There we go. It's like, that's awfully blurry for a screenshot. There you go. And one of the back. So cool. That actually starts to tell a bit of a story. Because it's like, when I first thought about doing this morning, it's like, I guess we could, like, change their skin color and put some bones on them, but that's what we did with the goblins and the orcs, and I'm starting to feel repetitive. So maybe they would actually, be able to, like, smith metals and do more ironwork and things like that. Because obviously, judging by the look of Her Majesty over here, they've got the technology, or at least the know-how. Really? Is that what's happening? Okay, there you go. Live in a fortress, yeah. To what Murmuroko is saying. Cape looks very dwarven. It is super cool, though. Alright, so let's go ahead and make some notes here. Metalwork is probably okay. We tried to stay away from that, for instance, with the ogres, because they're kind of like, maybe if someone is keeping one as like a... Why is my brush preset all the way over there? I can't even reach it. Maybe if someone is keeping an ogre as kind of like an awesome battlement, they would decorate them appropriately with forged gear, but an ogre on their own, living the way that they would probably not have incredibly sophisticated pieces of armor and things like that. Their skin is so tough they probably don't need it. Goblins run around and pick up stuff they find and decorate themselves with it to, like, show everybody how cool they are and as statements of status to one another. So these guys would be a bit more possessed of... There we go. Metalwork is okay. Yeah, honestly, we could just go nuts with this. What we ought to do... So that's an ascendancy, dude. That's okay, we'll keep it on. See you in a bit, Turtle Squish. Jareed is saying it would be cool if goblins and or orcs could also join your town. I feel like that would make the game more diverse. I just wish that I don't know about, like, joining your town. I don't know how they would feel about that. I kind of think, like, goblins, for instance, would think themselves head and shoulders above you anyway. So maybe they wouldn't be into that. But I think it would be cool to just see them, like, wandering through one day. Just as a really bizarre ant farm thing. Alright, let's start things off by finding a deserty complexion. You know what? I'm being dumb. I forgot. I can use the color wand. Except it's gone absolutely crazy. Why is it doing that? I'm on the wrong layer, that's why. Cool. Alright. That was super freaky. Let's grab all our greens. Alright, I think that's everything. We'll hide the ants and see what we can come up with. Yes. Bright neon teal. Perfect. Blue, definitely not. Ooh, pink! Really pink. No. Purple's kind of cool. I feel like that's ranging into more of like the desert side of things. Hey game. The guy on the left is an enemy too? Are you talking about this friend here? This is just an ascendancy dude for comparison. Alright. It's kind of a cool taupey earth color. It's a little blushier than the ogres. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I like that. No, this friend over here is not our enemy. You know, another way we can look at this is what we plan on dressing them in, because if they're smithing metals, then they might adorn themselves in like silver or gold, or maybe just lots and lots of cool ironwork. This is kind of a neat place to start. Let's grab their hair. Okay, that's a shirt. That's not a weird, like, neck beard situation. Ooh, very pink. Everything is pink. Alright, let's see. Oh, they lost all their hair. That's true too. These guys could also go like bald and have sweet head tattoos. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see that. Well, maybe... Oh, maybe the ladies. I don't know. That'd be like really badass. Definitely for you, fella. Let's see what we can do. I assume that you would be... If you are able to make cool metal things, you could also make cool patterns. Dem really, really angry eyebrows. Tiacraman is saying, what about, for the metal for their equipment, what about copper? I think the reddish color would suit the desert nicely. Maybe. I don't see why we couldn't try that. We've got, let's see, in-game we've got like bronze, we've got tin. Tin would be kind of a lame thing to make armor out of. That's kind of goblin logic right there. Yes, this is shiny and silver, it must be strong. And you've literally just made all of your armor out of aluminum foil, and it's the worst decision ever, but you don't know because you're a goblin. Iron could be really beautiful. Furs could be really beautiful. You know what? I can also take this and pop it up a layer. I normally do that and I didn't this time, so hopefully we won't live to regret it. Weird. Oh, that's right, that's a paint over area, and I clicked in it. That way we can, at will, mess with their skin tone. Alrighty. Gold always works, sure. Let's see. They don't have much of a forehead, but then again, neither do Hearthlings for that matter. But they would have a lot of the back of their heads, so maybe we're working with a detail we can't really see. Also, with the usual vantage point that you get with Stonehearth, it's also useful to think of the tops of their heads. There we go. So this isn't going to be anything earth-shaking up here. Doesn't do to get too involved with the paint overs, but we do want something to be like, hey, we were thinking about this. And also, this is on its own layer too, so we can mess with the colors or the lightness. Like, when the goblins do face paint, it's actually lighter to be more reflective. So that might be a fun thing to mess with on these guys as well. Except the color was too neutral, so it wasn't letting me do anything. Not purple. Over here, then. So stuff like that can be kind of cool. Surrenderies is suggesting it might be nice to focus on more of a silver rose gold for the orcs, since the Hearthlings under Raya are so focused on red and gold. Would the orcs really want to emulate the Hearthlings? I would agree with you there. I mean, also, if you look at it this way, these guys are wearing red, while these guys wear green. So they are... This is significant. Those things are opposite to each other on the color wheel, for instance. They're complementary. So that's kind of a direct way to implicate that, hey, these guys are in total opposition to each other. So in an interesting twist, perhaps these guys wear more of a green or a teal to go with that kind of thinking, and then accent it with silver. This looks like leather. I imagine these things to be leather. We don't just want to do like a color swap though. Like, everybody else got so much attention along those lines, it would be a real shame to just change their colors. That's why I wish we just had, like, the bare models of these guys so we could start from scratch. I feel like it's going to be hard to work like this without being overly influenced by what they had before. Also, I feel like it gets hard to work with this palette and not have it wander too close to any of the Hearthling skin tones, because again, we still want them to stand apart. It could also be more like of an earthy thing. Like, they don't necessarily have to be a hue. But that starts to look a little bit weird and undead. I believe at the moment they use a lighter green, but a similar green than you get with the goblins. So maybe they could also use something similar in the desert. It's not as loud a lime peel, but it's still kind of in the ballpark. Right now, they're slowly becoming the same color of their current armor, which is distressing. That's kind of pretty. It's a near neighbor. Got a bit of a greenish cast. Alright. Orange isn't a bad idea. There we go. Perfect. It says, "Caution, go around me." Some more of like amber colors would be really pretty. Not that I'm saying you guys are pretty. You guys are fierce and strong and mighty. Let's not lose ourselves in our layers here. I've been trying to be more conscious about naming layers so I don't lose them all the time. Yes, bright green. No, that's pretty. I feel like the lead orange here would be too strong. But I'm seeing some pretty stuff back here that would look really nice. And we don't really want to go into this neutral brown. Let's see what we can do. Right. I forgot. Well, if anything, that was a little closer before. Let's have a little peek at that. Can also be one of those things that we start mixing in colors into their shadows and things as well to call out undertones of more of the rose and the dusky purples. Ultimately, we will have to drop them into the sands and see if it functions. She lost her eyebrows. Aw, sorry, lady. Well, we'll get them back. Change the hue just a little bit. I guess that's supposed to be very close, like close to the scalp hair. I like this color a lot, actually. It's really pretty. Hey, Chibi Kuroneko. Welcome to the stream. We're dealing with orcs, taking our first stab at how they could look in the desert. Oh man. Total mohawk. Super awesome. Oh, that's a little too shiny. It's hard. There are so many colors that are outside of the Stonehearth color gamut. Hey, Kyrian. And as always, anybody, if I mispronounce your name, do let me know, and I will do my best to pronounce it not in the complete and total wrong way. Okay, if he's bald, he can't have crazy sideburns. That just makes him look really weird. Alright, so we have kind of a trend with slightly less hair in the desert than we do, or in this guy's case, no hair. So we can even affect to a point like how that plays out with the eyebrows, which could afford these guys a bit more real estate for cool head tattoos. I am kind of liking the little beard still, though. Like, it sets him apart from the ogre. That's feeling a little bright, a little weird. Move that up the slider a bit to get it a bit more in between. That might take a bit more clever mixing. Thanks, Kyrian. Alrighty. So I am really loving the idea, since these guys are red to the Ascendancy's green. Let's try for a silver and green or teal. Teal, not like a... See, like this guy here is kind of a teal green. He's not like a weird, snotty, awful green. I've always really liked his skin tone. It's super pretty. So we have to do this without being overly influenced by what they're wearing now. Which is always kind of a bummer. You there, sir. Lose that. We don't need it. We'll give you something cool. And thematically appropriate. Just kind of messily repaint a shoulder where none once was. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, these guys are just going to wind up being references for the model when we get to making it. Which might be today, but it might also be next time. Sometimes these paintovers can take a little bit while we tease out what looks good. Your lack of eyebrows is really bumming me out, miss. Here we go. Super angry. Mess with the shapes on those in cubicles so we can find something really good. At the moment, it looks a little weird. Oh, maybe she doesn't have eyebrows. This one doesn't. Weird. Seems a little strange. Sandals. Sandals would be cool. Let's try that. Little toes sticking out. Adorable edgelord orcs. Thanks, Ranox. So, Ranox has just posted... What do we got here? A thing for Discord, which is super cool. Misread that at first. Thought it said discourse. But I am feeling sandals here. Sandals are the best. But yes, the Stonehearth Discord community. Boop. Alright, so... Again, I think this here is supposed to be skins. But that undershirt is a... Probably a weirdness. I feel like that would get uncomfortable. We can actually start here. No, not like that. So that's kind of pretty. I feel like I want to mess with the color of like their shoes and stuff too, because it doesn't quite harmonize yet. My hotkeys have decided that they're not actually a thing, and that's always exciting. I would prefer it to definitely decide it's a thing. Oh, we've got the Hearthling shoes as well. That's funny. Ooh, Mel Lopez is saying a bone necklace would be super cool. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're sick, Jay Reed. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you start feeling better. No, I'm glad everybody can make it and chill and contribute to this. This is a part of the process that can be a little unpredictable. This is the part where you're coming up with the roadmap and you try out different things and you see how it looks, and sometimes it can take a while to be like, oh man, this is totally what we want. I'm happy to be able to share it with you guys, but I know that it's not as exciting as when we start out and like, this is what we're going for, let's model it, yay! Alright, this is a gross color. It needs to be more of a cool silver. Less of a stone. Give it some shines. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Don't do that. Relis is saying, could you make an afro wig for the orc girl for a second? I kind of want to see her with the same hair depth on all the head instead of the mohawk. Yeah, maybe. We could see if we can do some different heads. For now though, let's just focus on getting a unified first pass. We'll get into the fiddly decorative parts when we're happy with our base. She really only has the mohawk. I feel like it's not like, when I look at this one, I see it as like she's got a mass of hair that's braided down the top of her head into a ponytail. But this one I was suggesting it far more of like, it's the same where it's like braided down the back of the head but the sides are shaved to keep it kind of lightweight. But we could definitely do a version that has more hair and see what it looks like. Or one with even less hair. And cool head tattoos. Why is this not picking? Oh, because tattoos are on a layer above it. Forgets everything immediately. Tattooed on eyebrows? Yes. Let's just get the colors in the bowl. Oh, hey, I see an opportunity here. Or do I? Ah, that's why. Hey, morning, Mally. Thanks, Renox. Yes, earrings. Crazy earrings. Jewelry for days. We will get to awesome jewelry and gems and things like that, but first let's make sure that our base colors are feeling happy, because we're definitely not quite there yet. We're still wearing a lot of our Ascendancy color. Lime green. Let's try to stay away from anything that's too blue. Gonna grab some cereal. I'm so jealous. I need cereal. That's it. You guys are getting the business. So, okay, it's still selected. That's why it's not letting me paint anything. I'm gonna go in with a bit of a broader brush for a little while. Hoop earrings, though. Be so cool. Wait, that's not even the right color. There we go. Can't even see that. It would be a square hoop earring. It's Stonehearth fashion. Someone also said skull necklace, which I am down for, but I don't know if we could get like a whole skull necklace in here. Maybe like if we copied this symbol here, and he's got a pretty big chest piece. You could have like a silver skull, and that'd be kind of cool. Eh. Arcane Gunner is saying maybe the orcs should have different armor styles, something more deserty. I agree. That would be super cool. Like, so far we've really been resorting to a lot of bone. Bone just seems to work really well. Yeah, I agree, game. Having enemies building their own towns and villages would look so fun. But the possibility of that, like, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I wish they weren't already dressed. Okay. Sorry, guys. It has to be done. Otherwise, we're just going to be repainting what you're already wearing. Let's see. Mally is saying if you want a bone necklace, you could try a simple little 4 cubes in an arc on the chest like the image you were looking at the other day. I don't remember. Simple little 4 cube arc? Alright. Guy with the bowl of soup. Oh, that friend. That friend. 4 cube arc. I might have to look at that later. I don't remember. Yep. And yes, Tobles, I'm aware of that, but I'm painting it out right now because I'm tired of just changing the colors of what's already there, and I want us to be able to kind of look at it with fresh eyes. see. Silver would not be a great choice to do all of the armor out of, but silver makes good filigree on things. We don't want to go too fancy on them, though, because they are still orcs. But he should still definitely have some kind of a breastplate. I'm already sensing that the screen is not going to be contrasting enough to see. Sort of starting to see a silhouette of like a horned skull situation in here. That's kind of neat. I don't know about that. Think of something. That could look pretty cool. Not at all, Ranix. As long as it doesn't disrupt the chat, I think that's okay. Gotta watch the color here because it'll get too close to the skin tone. Well, he looks like a Christmas tree at the moment. We haven't developed any lore while you were gone. We have decided that we're going to try and do the orcs in a complementary color scheme to Rise Children, similar to how they are currently doing the same for the Ascendancy. So where you have red and gold on the Ascendancy or the forest orcs, where the Ascendancy Hearthlings have like kind of a green and silver or iron look to it, we're going to reverse it for the desert so that these guys have green and silver versus Rise Children's red and gold. Let's do like hide wrappings around the hands. Or heck, maybe like this whole thing is like a kilt and we reverse it so that up here there's more hide wrappings and things like that. It's gonna look like really, really messy today. Just while we're figuring a way towards something. Yeah. Surrenderies, that's kind of exactly what I was getting at. Since the armor is kind of an iron steel, what about having their pants be slightly green and that be the focus of where the green is? Yep, exactly. It's like, if we're using that green and silver to be kind of an identifier, then we want it to be in an area that's easy to see. But we are going to run into a bit of a trick eventually, where we have to stop them from looking too much like the Ascendancy. Which is funny. So this can still start making its way into an armor shape. Originally, he had quite the shoulder pad, and we were dumb. We didn't save a... well, I was dumb. You guys aren't dumb. I didn't save a version of him that had it. Well, that kind of works. Turn everything back on. Pretend he's green. This sort of like studded thing going on. That's something that like the goblins in the forest biome also have. And that's all been switched out for like bones and cacti and thing like that. I feel like I wonder what this would be like if it was more of a cord. And less of a big belt. So more like that style. Don't want it to be too fancy because at a certain point we're going to have to address this. And if the base orcs look this fancy, it's not going to feel very special. I'm starting to wonder if bare-chested would look really, really cool here. It kind of does. Give him a cool necklace. I don't know, what do you guys think? I know it's not like super armory, but again, these guys do have like thick hide. Give him my little beard. Or a cool necklace. I do like his sleeve puffs. Like, one of the goblin outfits actually does that too. Where it's got really high-waisted pants. And then this sort of sleevey stuff happening. Pops of silver. I don't know if his toes are going to stick out, but it would be really cool if he had like a little silver buckle on him. Yeah, it would, I do think that it would distinguish them. Also, like, the whole look just got really cool. Like, I feel like there's more variation in there, and we could also put tattoos on their back, because there would be a bunch of stuff there. Like, these guys look similar, but different enough. Should we give them whiter teeth? Sort of like how the desert goblins have whiter teeth than the Ascendancy guys. Also, we were playing with taking out one of the Cyclops' teeth. I don't know. It makes him look kind of adorable. Alright, bare-chested it is. Cool, guys. Try Ready Red. We can. So we kind of have this orange color that this picture was shared in the chat, and we were pulling from there to get some ideas. So we can. Though, if we go too red, it will look like Christmas colors. So let's see what happens. I'm already feeling a lot better about this arrangement, though. This feels super cool. The belt, like, the shape of the belt had been bothering me, and then there was just, like, a bunch of stuff happening in here, and, like, I didn't know what my eye was supposed to settle on, and, using this as a place to call out green, I think, was really smart. What did I do with your guys' skin? There it is. Alright, his chest is not going to change color, so bear with me. Bright teal. Every day. That is kind of neat. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let's save a version of that. Kind of a funky way to do it, but again, we're just creating a reference right now. All right. Okay, cool. We'll go with the darker then. Yeah. Very cool. Was a bit worried it would clash with our green, but I think it worked out. Things are popping out better. Do little highlights there. Do want to keep the plating here and there. I don't know what form of combat these guys engage in, but they have huge punch fists. The pale ones make them look like they want to hug more than fight. Okay, so this makes them look like tougher. Alright. I like that it's richer too, you know? Like this feels very desaturated, and the orange was like really lively and really bright, but it's like there's a richness to this that I think is really beautiful. Cool beard ornaments. It's kind of silly. Though by that logic, I feel like she would have cool hair ornaments as well. It might get too busy though. Maybe down the back. I think that would be really cool. So down low is saying, is it possible to become friends with the orcs? One time, one orc comes every evening to sit at my campfire, and it's so cute. Feel like, what do we got? Whoa, that's a lot of craziness. Interesting. We'll have to keep something like that in mind. They look like they work in a forge. Maybe. Let's see. Turtle Squish says, I think the head is too flat. Maybe, though their heads are very flat. Like, when you look at this dude over here. Alrighty. They do have the square heads. They are starting to look... He seems like a rainbow. Oh no. Alright. Perhaps this is a bit too flamboyant. Let's bring this back over to a brown. like a warmer brown than that, though. What about yellower teeth? Maybe. Alright, some kind of a bandana. Maybe. I don't wanna hide the markings. Like, I think that's really cool. And an eye patch. Yes, of course. Just like that. There we go. I don't think so. Alright, if we did go with... Cool. I'm glad you like it. So I wanted to give them some kind of wrappings for their hands. Just to make them look kind of cool. Let's see. Sandals. Strange. Okay, let's grab this and see if we can mess with that color a little. So we have a lot of things that are a similar value. Okay, that scared me. Hi, boop. We don't need sticky keys. Windows is like, I'm just trying to help. I want to make your life so much more convenient. Sorry, everybody got booped. Okay, yeah, it is vibrating. So one downside to having... There's one downside to having the skin in the darker tone is that value-wise it blends in with the color green. That we had chosen. Oh, see you later, Turtle Squish. It's like I want the color, but at the same time, we want to be able to actually see them. But that also just looks like patches of skin. Maybe more this value would be good. Let me borrow you real quick. It does stand out more. Let's keep that in mind. Surrenderies is suggesting to make sure that you have some kind of separation between the value of the skin and the pants, and that's a good idea. So that is a way we can get around it. It does kind of cut them in half a little. It's just a cooler shade. Also, I'm thinking that the color of the hair needs to kind of veer a bit away from the purple. There we go. More charcoal, less violet. We do try to use neutrals that aren't just a dead black, but it's easy to get carried away, especially when you've got something that's already playing in complementary colors, like red and green. You throw purple into the mix, and you're getting closer and closer to Mardi Gras. Wonder if it would be too busy to like trim the bottom in silver. I bet it would be really, really busy though. I think the head tattoos could also go darker. They should either go darker or a little bit lighter than the skin. Because I'm a fan of both of the looks. Lighter than the skin though would also like open up the top of their head. It wouldn't feel like it's like being like crushed in by more detail. So let me lock that down. It doesn't read very well at the moment. The darker does look very cool. I don't know. We would also want to shave a bit of the eyebrows to play with the shapes. No! Perhaps a bit more separation. Why not both? So you mean both versions of the head tattoo? Maybe awesome bone necklace. We are forgetting about the awesome bone necklace. We're gonna need a slightly different color for something like that. Also, that could wind up cluttering their chest, and they don't really have a lot of area in there, and that's not necessarily where we want to be looking. Oh! I don't even... Am girl, in case anybody is wondering. Ooh, a skull backpack would be cool. It'd be huge. I like that. Let's make a note of that, because we're not looking at their backs right now. That's not how you spell anything. Yes. So cool. Earrings for days. Do they just go off the ear onto this guy? His earring game is too strong. Let's see. No, I think these are doing pretty well. He probably does need nipples. That is a little concerning. I know this guy's got them. But then that might also be an uncomfortable level of realism. I don't know. At the very least, we could give him some pecs. So we feel a little bit better about his anatomy, and he's less like a squishy bean. Yep, I agree with you, Surrenders. Yep, I sure am. Alright, actually, I am feeling pretty good about this. We should try another version of this guy that does still involve some armor. But I like how all of this reads together. Like, I don't feel like it's fighting for space. I feel like it's very clear. She's a little bit more condensed, but her body is so much smaller. Having like weird little flashbacks of when we worked on the footman armor. That was a very long process. It was a really fun process though. That was super good. Point taken, Tobles. Honestly, the reason I'm hesitant to include it is because Stonehearth kind of exists in a low fidelity, fill in the gaps with your imagination kind of space, and I feel like if we're going to spend voxels on details, that's a peculiar one to highlight. Unless it's for some, like, incredibly comical reason that I don't imagine would be highly appropriate. Humanoid, though, if you spend too long... Lam, you make a good point. Hey, Dovahkiin, welcome to the Pecs over nipples. Yes, I agree, Mally. And Cat's Faith. Hi, welcome. But yeah, to what Lam was saying, if you spend too long staring at an orc's chest, perhaps you're playing the game a little differently. I mean, I don't know what you're into. You're gonna make the orc blush, though. Alright. Maybe a little silver inlay just right on the backs of the hands. That'd be kind of cool. I kind of feel like this is a big dark mess back here. Maybe she could also have some plating to kind of go with the theme. I feel like these guys look pretty cool. I'm excited. I just want to put earrings on everybody and I'm trying not to. No! Cat's Faith. So there was a suggestion to do a skull backpack since they have so much space on their backs, and I really like it. So maybe we will address that in another stream when we actually go in and try to model these guys. I love the idea. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. Like, I wasn't sure where we were gonna wind up, and it took a while. But again, that's kind of how that process goes. So, yeah. Let's see. Anything else we wanna try and smack on these guys before we call them committed and ready to go? We've got a note of the skull backpack, but we can work on modeling that when we actually get to the modeling. We're talking about trying to do like a finished head of hair for our orc lady. It's kind of cool. I do worry that she might start to read a bit much like a Hearthling, but hopefully the color differences will be enough to send a clear message. Like, I think coming to this conclusion early on, using green and silver instead of red and gold, was super smart. So even if their skin tone, even though we're going with, like, you know, yellows and reds and oranges, we still, in our color palette, go for more neutral versions of those colors, and it might start wander, like, if your camera is backed away really far, that would start to wander kind of close to, like, what your Hearthlings look like. And this helps a lot for that visual distinction, because all of your Rise Children's guys are wearing bright red and gold, at least until they start getting promoted, and one day we're going to take a look at that and see if we can get a little more unity across the board. Oh, cool. Lam, have you not played yet? It's super cute. I'm biased. Tobo says maybe the Cyclops could have a big skull backpack, and then they could have thief goblins in it. It would be cool if they could, like, throw little thieves over the wall. Oh my gosh, that would be really cute. All right. Someone said robes. Maybe. This is on a separate layer. Nothing is being lost. We're just playing. I feel like we'd want to see some kind of a collar, for sure. Reminded a bit of the shepherd at the moment. Maybe if there was, like, a cool hood. He looks kind of friendly. Not like that. That's starting to break a fundamental rule of not having arms. Maybe if he had, like, a big cowl. It'd be kind of neat. Sort of looks like an orcish friar at the moment. A train conductor or a farmer. Thief launching, exactly. Oh, okay. So... Let's see. Oh, that's a good point. So to what Surrendries is saying, it might be cool to see stuff like this on a winter orc, which could not run around bare-chested. That would just be mean. All the way. Hide the whole body. It's too cold. Scarf for days. Stretches into infinity. Just touches this little fella like on the side of his head and makes him kind of like, why this? I think scarves add a layer of epicness to everything, but perhaps that would be a really cool thing to bring forward when we start working on our glacier guys. This is kind of fun though. Like I'm not disliking this. I think it's got potential. And again, there's room on the back to like draw patterns on it if you want to. I wonder how it would it kind of looks like he's going like he's like pulling his, like shrugging his shoulders up real high. No, Mally, no. It is true. I mean, if they have like evolved to withstand icy temperatures, perhaps they like have an extra layer of fat or something about they like have, I don't know, and they can just like take it and they're perfectly fine. They like dive into the ice and grab fish with their bare hands. I miss the cold. I used to live a bit further up north, and I used to really love the winter time. Not without a lot of jacket and scarf though. Like that was far too cold. But no, this is kind of fun. We're gonna have to find some kind of life for this. Feel like bringing it down into the hand covers would imply that this robe does have sleeves. Maybe we could ditch the armor pieces and instead do a trim, though it starts to feel far less mighty. Yeah, I like the armor pieces. It's just really cool. Needs more armor. The biggest pauldrons. Pauldrons that if you hit a certain running speed, you just take off like an airplane. This is how you know this guy is the most important. He can't even fit through doors. Fantasy armor is the best. Wizard orc! Little wizard hat. Little like that. You're a wizard, Harry. Or an orc with a onesie. Yeah, exactly. All we need to do is like finish it out with like the little booties, and then we just give him a little hood with like little rabbit ears. That's his little rabbit suit. So he's extra comfy when he goes to bed. Whoa, walrus orc! That's so good! Very cool. Perfect. Perfect every day. Okay, so this is super fun. I'm actually a fan of where this is heading. I'm glad we did that experiment. Alright. You did not, Tobles. Alrighty, so I think we're in a pretty good place. We have a cool robe idea. We've got our base set. I want to, before we sign off today, I want to hold that up next to just our basic cubicle, please. Okay, we did not anger cubicle. Wow, these guys look so green. Man, we've been staring at these so long, my eyes have just like totally readjusted themselves. There we go. Alright, I would say that those are visually distinct from our Ascendancy dudes. I like the color scheme here and how that's going to relate to the Raya's Children faction. So you'll be able to really tell what you're looking at. Though now that I look at it, like while these guys are wearing red, they're not really wearing gold. So perhaps the color distinction thing is more minor over here. But it was still a really good point, and I think it's a valuable thing to carry forward just as far as like a really good practice, because this is definitely going to pop next to the Hearthlings, and I think that's great. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. I'm excited. I think we did good work. So, let's see about... Okay, so that's right. We're not going to be streaming next week because it's Thanksgiving and I'm actually going to be traveling. So, in 2 weeks, let's see about dragging these guys back into Cubicle and trying to mock them up with voxels. In the meantime, thanks everybody so much for your help today. We came a really, really long way. Like, I wasn't sure if we would actually get to like a stable point at the end of today's stream, because sometimes it can take a really long time. But thanks so much for your feedback as always, and for all of your contributions and pictures and jokes and commentary. Like, it's absolutely wonderful to be able to do this with you guys in the morning or in the evening, maybe for you. So I hope you'll join us in 2 weeks' time to start seeing how these guys come together, and have a fantastic the rest of your day wherever you are. And thanks again. Catch y'all later.